Shoots it, he was dead. Just so passionate, y'all. But as soon as she graduated, she just realized the truth of her job. She's representing liars, murderers, rapists, all types of evil and wicked people. And she's just tired of it. She just wants to do this, like keep working until she pays off her student loans, and then she wants to be done with this type of job. It's not what she thought it would be. I'm gonna go for the barbecue wing now.
Eat your vegetables. Eat your vegetables.
Hi Veggie Fam, it's your girl Natasha. If this is your first time here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you can become a part of the Veggie Fam too. Okay, so in today's video, guys, we are going to be eating we're going to be eating some chicken wings, y'all. Oh my gosh. This is my first time having chicken wings on here. So we have some lemon pepper chicken wings, we have some buffalo chicken wings, we have some honey barbecue chicken wings, and we also have some blue cheese dressing. We have some carrots, and we have some celery. We also have a lava cake for dessert. It's my first time having lava cake, by the way. And we also have black tea with lime. Okay, so without further ado, guys, we're gonna pray for this food, and then we're gonna get right into it, y'all. Right into it. Father God, thank you for this food. Please bless the hands that prepared it, God. I also pray for my subscribers that they have a blessed and awesome day, Jesus, and that they have food on their table as well. In your name I pray, amen and amen. Okay, so you guys, I have a story time for you. This was my first official story time. I've been studying this for a couple of days now. Yeah, it has not been easy. So be easy. Don't be so hard on me. I'm not gonna be perfect, but I'm gonna get you guys the details. And also, I'm not gonna tell you the name of the story or the movie until like the very end, so that you guys can probably guess it and be intrigued. Okay, yeah. So let me dig into this chicken wing. So we're gonna eat a little bit first before we get into the story time. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go for this lemon pepper chicken. Thumbnail. I have, Go for it, guys. So this is like a dry rub. So, how's my veggie fam doing today? I hope you guys are having an awesome and blessed day. You know, I'm always praying for you guys. This is so good, y'all. Well, let me just take a few more bites and then we're gonna get it in. We're gonna get into the story time. And the blue cheese, so good, y'all. What's the right way to eat chicken wings? Because I don't know. All my life, I just pick the meat off the bone and then I dip it in sauce. Or do you bite it? What do you do? I just don't know. Okay, so we're gonna get into the story time, you guys, because so refreshing. Okay, so it starts off like this. There's this man and there's this woman on top of a two-story house. Okay, so the man, he's an officer, and the woman, she's an elderly lady. She's gonna jump, she wants to commit suicide. He's trying to stop her, him and his team of police, but he's in charge of talking to her. So she's just, you know, she keeps screaming. She keeps saying that she just makes no sense. Like, she's like, me and my husband worked hard for everything I had. Now I have nothing, nothing. Just don't touch me. How could I have been so stupid? Just leave me alone, leave me alone. And the officer, meanwhile, he's like, everything's gonna be all right. You know, don't do it. It's not worth it. Of course, the lady jumps. She jumps. She gonna take it. Nobody knows what she meant. Now we meet that same officer's wife. Her name is Jasmine Bryant. Now, a little bit about Jasmine Bryant. She is 26 years old. She's an attorney. She works for a small law firm. She's not that passionate about her job. Like, in law school, she was like so crazy about her job, and she was like, so good. She was like, just so passionate, y'all. But as soon as she graduated, she just realized the truth of her job. She's representing liars, murderers, rapists, all types of evil and wicked people. And she's just tired of it. She just wants to do this, like, keep working until she pays off her student loans, and then she wants to be done with this type of job. It's not what she thought it would be. So Jasmine, I'm gonna go for the barbecue wing now. So Jasmine, does anybody dip their barbecue wings in sauce? But like, okay, so Jasmine, she gets assigned this case. And she gets the case of Grace Waters. Now, this case is the talk of the town. In the population of about 100,000, this is the first to ever happen. Like, Grace Waters murdered her husband. This never happened before. Okay? Her boss is just like, this is supposed to be just a quick, this was just supposed to be a closed case, like quick in and out, get her to sign a plea deal. That's it. We don't have money or resources to expand this any further. So, in and out. Okay, so all of Jasmine's colleagues, they wanted the case, you know, it's a big one. Of course they're passionate about it. But her husband's like, she'd rather not. But she had no choice, so. So finally, she goes to meet Grace Waters. Now, from the look of it, Grace Waters, she just looks like she's having a hard time. She looks like a sweet middle-aged woman. She's, you know, her spirit. What about Grace Waters? Grace Waters is the typical A+ citizen. Now, Grace Waters never had a DUI. She never had a speeding ticket. She has never been arrested for anything. She bakes cookies for the neighborhood kids. She volunteers at church. She sings in the choir. She worked at her job for about 25 years. she is just a perfect A+ citizen. Like, nobody saw this coming. Like, this surprised everyone, but everybody thinks she did it. Everybody thinks she just snapped it. She did it. She killed him. No doubt about it. So when Jasmine finally goes to meet her, she's just like, she doesn't get it. But Grace is just like, she's really stubborn. She's like, she didn't want a lawyer. She don't know why they sent her a lawyer. And she just wants to be left alone. Okay? So the normal lawyer, they'll ask you some questions, try to get to know why you did it, what was the cause, what's the story. But typical Jasmine says she's not, really passionate about her job. Let's just say Grace asked all the questions. Grace asked her, is she Catholic? She goes to church. How old is she? What school she went to? And all types of things. And Grace is just like, she just wants to plead guilty. Jasmine said since her history is so good, they could try to get her 15 years plus parole. And an ability to see her son and her grandchild. So Grace calls the guards in to come get Jasmine. And Jasmine leaves. Okay, so now we're introduced to Malcolm Waters. Ooh, drip, drip, drip. Ooh. Okay, so Grace Waters' son Malcolm visits Jasmine at her job. Malcolm is just trying to get Jasmine to convince his mother not to plead guilty. Like, she has refused to see him, and he just wanted to let Jasmine know that his mother wouldn't even kill a bug. Like, she would tell her husband to put the bug in a cup and just bring it outside, don't kill it. And she wouldn't even hit a fly. Okay, this lady, she's pure as snow. Pure as white snow, y'all. Pure as white snow. Jasmine is just like, there's nothing she could do. What can Jasmine do? The lady wants to plead guilty. There's nothing for Jasmine to do. What can she do? What can she do? So Jasmine goes to meet with Grace Waters again. So this time she just tells Grace that the only thing that they'll offer her is life. She gets life. She gets the maximum. And she has a possibility of being in the facility close by. Her son and her grandchild can come and visit her. We'll go for a lemon pepper one again. This time we'll dip in some sauce. So now Grace, she just signs the form. Because Jasmine, she brought over a plea deal for her to sign, you know. That's the best she's gonna get, so she might as well sign for it. Because she could have got executed, the death penalty. But, so she just like, take it. Yeah, she's just like, take it, just take it. You know? So she signed it. And then Jasmine leaves. And, sorry, these wings are good. Then Jasmine leaves. And we just see Grace over there just sobbing. Sobbing uncontrollably. So then, as Jasmine's home, she just can't stop thinking about it. She's like, this lady, like, a guilty person does not cry like that. She's seen a lot of people. She did a good amount of trials and never once had they cry like that. She just feels so, and she's saying this all to her colleagues and her husband. Just something about her, like, you know, and they're just like, you need to do something about it because nobody does that. Like, she just has this motherly vibe to her. Like, how could she have done that? Like, it doesn't seem right. Now Jasmine, she's just trying to look for something. She's trying to get all the pieces together. So she looks inside of her case folder and she sees Sarah. Sarah is Grace's best friend. She calls her up and she asks her if she could come over and they could talk a little bit about, you know, her best friend Sarah, her best friend Grace, sorry. Since she's in jail and stuff, to try to, you know, talk, see what happened. So the next day, Jasmine goes to Sarah's house and she meets Sarah in Javed. So that's my fridge. Now Sarah is pulling out trash. You know, she asks Jasmine to help her out because it's really heavy. And Jasmine sees this lady. She sees this lady on the second story window. Oh, really? Just looking at her. And as soon as Jasmine makes eye contact with her, she runs away. And then Sarah just tells her that she has three elderly tenants that she takes care of and that stays with her with their cats, of course, and with their cats, of course, and yeah, they have no family, they have no friends, they have nothing. Are you guys paying attention? You guys better be paying attention. I'm just trying to get this chicken. I don't like too much skin. Chicken skin. Okay, so now she finally goes inside. Now she finally goes inside of Sarah's house. Okay, inside, she meets with that same lady who was looking at her. Of course, she runs away because she, I don't know, kind of like awkward. Like she hasn't seen people in a long time, but she wasn't really like social. So Sarah and Jasmine is sitting down talking, okay, around the table. And Sarah just goes into like a brief about how Grace and her husband met. So basically this is what happened. Let me have some of this chicken wing. Chicken wing. So, Grace has been feeling really lonely. Her and her husband got divorced. Her husband left her for a younger woman, about 5 years older than their son. It's his secretary. She caught them sleeping together, you know, and of course he decided to marry her, and he just moved on with his life like so fast, like she was nothing. She just felt so terrible. She felt so terrible because she hasn't been able to recover. She has been staying home all the time. You know, she just feels lonely. She wish she can be young again and feel alive. This is so spicy. Wow. Her husband also got married in the house that they used to live in together, and they still have those drapes. And not only that, her son got married. Ever since her son got married, she's been going downhill even more because they used to hang out. They used to hang out a lot more, but now that he's married, of course he's gonna have to, you know, hang out more with his wife. You know? So Sarah was just like, I can't make you young again, but, you know, I can help you with the rest. So she ends the story off right there, because she says that, she says that she had to feed her tenants, you know, breakfast. And so she just says her and her husband met at an art gallery. She goes to the back, she pulls out this letter, and the letter is like, it just has the date that the event was and stuff like that, all the information for the art gallery and the opening. And she gave to her. She's like, this is all that I found, because when they were emptying her house. Spicy. So then Jasmine, she gets up and she leaves. Okay, so Jasmine still was not feeling too easy about it. You know, this story's just still not, like, it just doesn't sound right. Something's missing. So she goes back to see Grace. She goes back to see her. She needs to get this plea. She needs to make a decision. She feels like there's something that's Grace doesn't tell her. So she said, sorry, ooh, that's spicy. Ooh. Ooh, that spice was like at the back of my tongue from the buffalo. She said, is there anything else you could tell me? Is there anything else you could tell me? Okay, so Grace is really stubborn, but eventually she starts talking. So she's like, everything's a blur. I mean, for some reason, all I remember is high heels, high heels. And then she gets into the story. So her best friend Sarah, she told her to go to this art gallery. She was very persistent on it. So Grace decided to go after work. Despite how tired she was, she still went. Now, at the art gallery, she bumps into this guy. And this guy is pretty good looking. Tall, masculine, well-dressed, well-spoken, you know. I got a lime. Piece of lime. So they're just talking, kind of flirting, you know. He's a lot younger than her. Not like real young, but he looks like in his 30s. Or, yeah, he looks like he's in his 30s. And they're just talking. She's looking at the photos, and she's like, this was definitely Mark, babe. A woman that took these photos, a native, because look at her angles, look at the way she took these photos, and however she got to these locations, she had to be a native to be able to take these pictures. And he's like, why do you think it's a she? And then Grace is like, because the name says Shannon. Okay, Shannon's a girl's name. Okay, so we soon figure out that the person who took those photos is not a girl. And even though it's a girl's name, it's actually that guy she's talking to. He's Shannon. He's the one who took those pictures, and this event is all about his openings. It's all about his pictures. So she's thinking to herself, wow, okay, I didn't know it was him. I love these photos. So she's just like, you know, so giddy. So the next day she's at work, right? And for some reason, she gets flowers from that same man with a note saying, call me. And it's just like, how she was like, how did he know where I worked? But she didn't really think too much of it, you know. She was just like, you know, head over heels. He was cute, but she was like, she's not gonna call him. She's not gonna, you know, she's too old for all this. I'm just cleaning up my nails. So eventually, she ends up calling him because she's like, what the heck? What am I gonna lose from just calling him? So she calls him, they set up a date, they go on a couple of dates. He just gets her, even goes to church with her and her best friend Sarah. And he's not the type of guy, he doesn't look like the type of guy to even go to church. But he goes to church and he's celery stick. They stay up late, talk on the phone. She just feels like a schoolgirl all over again. She feels young and she just feels good. He gets her, like, you know, and she just feels like it's a little too good to be true. Look at him, look at him. So like a few weeks or a few months later, like 3 months later, yeah, she's just giddy and stuff like that. So Grace ends the story and she asks Jasmine to leave because she didn't want to talk about it anymore. That's all she wants to talk about. So then Jasmine leaves. Now Jasmine, she finally starts to notice like some of the evidence. Some of the evidence or it's just not adding up. Like the only evidence so far they have is just a pool of blood. Well, the blood looks like it's coming out. Like she wants to get like a blood specialist to investigate this because what's weird is that she killed him, but there's no body. So yeah, it looks like she's gonna take on this case. Go girl. Her husband's so proud. She's finally getting that fired for her job, which is so awesome. Okay, so she goes to meet Grace again, and Jasmine goes to meet Grace again, and Grace finishes her story. So she said, so they've been, you know, Shannon have been going on dates, having good time and stuff like that. And then within 3 months, he proposed to her and they got married. Everything was going so good, you know, with their relationship. Until one day. One day, she was upstairs and she hears Shannon, her new husband, on the phone talking to what seems like a woman, because the way he's talking is really seductive, like, you know. So she comes downstairs and she's just like, I'm just checking up on you, like, what are you doing? And then this dark era came over him, and he was just like, the two things that I hate the most, or two things that I don't like, is being checked upon and asked questions, okay? And she just backed off from there because it seems like kind of weird. So the next day, I love this lemon pepper chicken, so good. So the next day, and the crunchiness, yo. So the next day, Grace goes to her job. She works at a bank. She's talking on the phone with her best friend Sarah, telling her what's going on and how he acts and that he's acting suspicious talking on the phone. Meanwhile, her manager and I guess his investors they call Grace into their office. And just like that, they fired her. She's been working there for 25 years, and they fired her. Her account was short $379,000. And they were like, you thought that we would not notice? Like, for real? You used all your passcodes. It couldn't have been anybody else. It had to be you, because it's all your passcodes. Everything that you need to do to get that money, you did it. And you thought we would not even figure this out. So she's just sitting back like speechless, because she can't even believe like what's happening. And she just was like, she couldn't even, she couldn't even think of the words to defend herself. And they just let her go like that. I can't even snap. They let her go like that. And she's been there for 25 years. Like, nothing. So now she doesn't have a job. Let's stick it in there. So the next thing we know, sorry. So the next thing you know, she's, the next thing you know, there's a mortgage, taken out under her name for $373,000. And they were like, she's also short on money at her, I guess her bank. She overdraft. And she's just like, Grace is just like, I never took a loan against my house. My house is paid off. It's been paid off for the last 4 years. Like, someone has definitely framed me. Like, somebody stole my identity. It's, you know, it's just real. Like, how come everything's happening like that? She's like, so who did it and what happened? She's like, it got notarized. She also signed it, and she's like, I never remember signing it. I never did anything like that. She's trying to figure out clues, trying to figure out evidence for, like, this is just making no sense. So she asked the lady, so where was this notarized? Because I was not aware of this. And then the lady was like, it's been notarized by Flinch Notary on 2998 Sycamore Street. And so Grace is just trying to hurry up and write down all the information because this is making no sense. And so she goes to that address and she sees that there's nobody there. It's abandoned. And what gets to me is like, how come this bank, I don't know, but I'm never gonna go into that. But there's nobody there. It was abandoned. It looks like nobody's been there for years, okay? So she asked to see the surveillance cameras of the bank, and so they showed her the video, and she was shocked of what she saw. So she's telling Sarah's at her house. Her best friend Sarah's at Grace's house, and she's just telling Sarah what happened and stuff like that. And then let me get some more of this. Then Shannon, Grace's husband, walks through the door. And Grace pulls out that photo, that video. He didn't know what to say. He just says, like, what do I look like? Asking my wife for money, like, that doesn't look right. And she's like, you still should have asked me, that's my money. And then he was like, well, I needed that money. And he's like, I know how the state runs, okay? We're married. That's my money. That's my money. I'm not giving back that money. That's my money. And Grace was just like, she's just shocked. So she asks him to leave. He doesn't leave. He doesn't want to leave. Then she calls the cops. The cops can do nothing about it because they say it's a civil suit. So she has to take it to court. She tries to get a lawyer or someone to represent her, and so it costs about $10,000. She has no job. She has no savings, nothing. She has nothing. He took everything. So she comes home one day. She comes home one day and there's this car in the driveway, your little car that she never saw before. She's just like, this is weird. So she goes inside and she hears noises. So she calls Shannon multiple times. Shannon, Shannon. She goes upstairs and guess where the noise is coming from? In her bedroom. He is with another girl on her bed. And she's like, she's not having that. So she opens the door on them. The girl that he's sleeping with thinks that that's his mother, and you know, and he's like just forcefully closing the door and saying, get out of here, get out of here. So she goes downstairs and she sits around the table. She sits around the table. No words coming out her mouth. Just quiet. She is just quiet. So after he's done, you know, after they're both done talking about him and that girl, Shannon and that girl is talking about seeing each other again probably, you know, and how much his mother needs to stop barging in and stuff like that. And she leaves. So Shannon takes a seat on the couch, okay? Meanwhile, Grace, she's sitting around the table. Shannon's back is turned. Shannon's back is turned towards Grace, and Grace is just sitting facing his back, you know? They're kind of a distance away from each other. And then Shannon just started talking junk. Alright, he thought, I will never love you as much as you love me. You're just such a nice person. You're just an old fruit. Just old hanging fruit. Sorry, old hanging fruit. Nobody wants you. All this happened because of you. I wanted to be so nice and stuff. And now look at you, you have nothing. Look at you, pitiful you. So, meanwhile, he was talking junk and smoking a cigarette. Grace disappears for a second. And she comes back with a bat. And she grabs that bat and she just starts hitting him and hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. Blood was just splattering everywhere. He was like lifeless, and she just picked up his body and she put it in her basement, and then she jumped in her car and she just started driving and driving and driving as far as she could get away from that place. And then she eventually calls her best friend Sarah right after. And it looks like her son stopped by too. And when Sarah got there, she saw nobody. Her son didn't see anybody either. So that's weird, nobody. So, see, there was some pieces missing from her story because nobody knew that. Nobody knew that Sarah and her son, and Grace's son, Malcolm, were at the crime scene or saw anything. So it turns out the reason why Grace wanted to plead guilty, Jasmine is finally adding everything up. It's just because she didn't want to get her son or her best friend wrapped up in this chaos, because she's the one who put herself in this. That's what she said. And it's all adding up. So Jasmine just starts begging Grace to not plead guilty. Let's take this to trial. Let's take this to trial. She's begging her. She's begging her. She also asks if they could use her friend Sarah as a witness. Her best friend Sarah. But Grace is just like, if any way they try to pin this on her, I'm going to get up and I'm going to plead guilty. And Jasmine said, okay. But she really didn't want her friend to be a part of it, or her son. So now, Jasmine is trying to come up with a case. She's basically just going to use the fact that they don't have the body. She's going to use the evidence that they do have to help to prove her case that Grace is not guilty. So it's the day of the trial. Jasmine's a little, nervous about it. But she's doing a good job until they bring Sarah, Grace's best friend, to the stand. They bring her to the stand, and that's when everything starts going wrong. So I asked her a bunch of questions. She's answering okay. The jury, everybody's thinking that she's taking up for her friend. She's not really telling them what happened, even though she pleaded to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. But so finally, the guy asked her questions. The opposer, I'm gonna call him the opposer. He asks her, so since you guys are best friends, you and Grace are best friends, didn't Grace call you first? Wouldn't she call you first if you're her best friend, if something like this was to happen? Sarah didn't want to answer. She was speechless for a little bit, stuttering. And then she said, yeah, we were talking for like 15 minutes on the phone. And then he brings up some evidence. He's like, well, we got evidence from a tower. And it looks like you've only been talking to her for about 2 minutes. Probably even less. What were you guys talking about? So I forgot to say in the first part when she said 15 minutes, she said they were talking about like, the church and what they're gonna make and stuff like that. Just, random stuff that they talk about. Now since she got caught, she's just like, she didn't know what to say. So she finally just bursts out, when Grace called me that day, she told me that she killed him. She killed him. Everybody's shocked, and now there's no way of Jasmine. Now Jasmine, she's just like, she doesn't know what to say. The judge asks her if she has anything else to say. She just sits there quietly. Nothing. Very, very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. Everybody was disappointed in her. Her boss was disappointed in her. Her husband. No one was being easy on her because she could have easily just, she just would be on her toes. Think like a lawyer. Act like a lawyer. What kind of lawyer leaves the case like that? Like, where the person they're trying to defend, like, it's just proved guilty. Who ends the case like that? Nobody had anything to say. And not only that, Grace didn't even know about the records. It was in her folder. How she didn't know about it? She looked over that part. If she knew about it, she could have did something. She could have prepared for it. But she was caught off guard by that. So they took a little recession, like a little break. So at the next hearing or the next court day, I forgot what they call it. Grace, she goes with, Jasmine, she goes with a new mindset. She's like she has to win this case. She needs Sarah to get back on. She needs Sarah to get back on the witness stand. But the judge was not allowing it because he already made his ruling, and she just was persistent. So the judge eventually just sentenced. She got put in timeout, y'all, until she apologized for interrupting and causing. She just wasn't acting right. She was being disrespectful in his courtroom. So eventually she gets out and she goes home with her husband. Now, as they're grabbing Grace to take her to jail, Grace finally notices something. So over on the side, Sarah is with her son, Grace's son Malcolm. And she's just rubbing him on the back like everything's gonna be okay. That's how she's acting with him. And then she notices on her neck, on Sarah's neck, was the ouzo, this African necklace or ouzo necklace that her husband Shannon, the one who she hit with a baseball bat, died. How come she has the necklace? And then everything just added up to her on her screen, on the back of her, in her house, on her computer. So that's how they got the money. That's how they got my passcodes for my job and was able to steal that money. And she's just she's just noticing a lot of details. And she's like, that's his necklace. What's she doing with his necklace? She's the one who invited me to the event, and he mysteriously knew where I worked at, and he knew so much about me and stuff like that. She never really added everything up until now. So when they took her to that jail, she said, call my lawyer. So before Grace was able to call her lawyer, Jasmine decided, so it was the next day, Jasmine decided to go and visit Sarah, because she's probably thinking Sarah's probably so sad. Sarah probably feels bad because she ratted out her friend and all this type of stuff. So she asks her husband to drop her to go see her Grace's best friend. So on their way there, Jasmine just asks him to just drop her like a little farther back from her house, and she'll walk the rest. Because I think he has to go to work or on some assignment or something. Okay, because remember, he's an officer. So she's walking on her way to Sarah's house, and she bumps into that same lady. You remember that lady? I told you to pay attention to the details. Remember that lady, second floor window, looking through the window at Jasmine You know, when she first came over there and then she ran away when Jasmine made eye contact with her. That same lady was there. She looked like she was in a hurry. She was in a hurry to get out of there. And she was just like, I have to get out of here. She wasn't making any sense. She said, I have to go to my house. And then after that, Jasmine was like, your house is here. She brought her to Sarah's house and she said, your house is here. You live with Sarah. This is where your house is. And then she says, no, I don't live here. No, I don't live here. And she starts to tell her that there's a lot going on, but I have to build it myself. I had to build it myself so that I could leave so that I could help other people. You know, she's just an old, fragile, like, old lady, and she's just scared. So she tells her her address. Remember 2989 Sycamore Street? Yeah, that is that lady's house. That's why it looks abandoned. That's why it looks so old. How long has this poor lady been here? How long has she been here? So Jasmine, she gets up, and Sarah's not home at the time. She gets up and she looks around the house. She hears a noise and she goes to the basement. Now, there's a bunch of old ladies. A bunch of old ladies just on the floor, handcuffed to the wall, just sitting there quietly. And she's being held and tied up, and her mouth is being covered. She's being tied up to a chair. So Sarah's home, or Sarah got home, and she noticed that the door was open, and she just noticed that she knows somebody was there, because the tenant, that older lady, she told her that she didn't mean to, don't hit her. I guess she gets abused. That same older lady, she gets abused. And so Sarah, you know, Sarah goes downstairs, and guess who that person who tied her up was? Okay? None other than Sarah's son. Sarah's son. Nobody knew about Sarah's son. Shannon. Shannon is alive, you guys. Alive and well. Shannon is alive. Everything is adding up. She was the one who planned everything. She stole all these old ladies, okay? This lady. Okay, so Jasmine's husband is on a case, and I guess he got sent some evidence that had to do with that lady, and everything was just added up to him. So he just felt like his wife was in danger. He drove off fast to go and get her. So he knocks on the door. Sarah was trying to calm down and look innocent. She opens the door. She says, hi. And then her husband, Jasmine's husband, was just asking, like, have you seen her? She said she was gonna come here. And then Sarah's just like, no, I never saw her. And then he said, so can I come in? And then Sarah was like, do you have a warrant? Do you have a warrant? Why would you need a warrant? Why would you need a warrant if you're innocent? Like, that makes no sense to me. If you have nothing to hide, you don't need no warrant. So she closes the door, okay? Then he calls for backup. And then he calls Jasmine's phone, and Jasmine's phone starts to ring, and Sarah's like, oh crap. So then he kicks open the door, okay? Him and Sarah start going at it, fighting, wrestling. And then Sarah grabs this pen and she hits him on the back of his head. She thinks she got him. She really does. Psych, okay, he turns around and he handcuffs her and he tells her to stay there. Do you really think she's gonna stay there? Like, why would you even say that? You should have handcuffed her to something, okay? So then he goes downstairs looking for his wife. He sees the elderly ladies, like a bunch of them downstairs in the basement, just quiet, you know? And then he looks around in a couple of the rooms, and then he finally goes to a room where she's at, and she's tied up with her mouth covered, and he's about to go and, you know, uncover it when some hands come behind him and start strangling him, and they get into a big fight. They're pushing each other, rolling, slamming into doors, all type of stuff. And then so Jasmine, she gets up from her chair and she gets up from her chair and she hits the chair into Shannon. Shannon falls, the chair breaks, they're fighting, Jasmine's on the side. She sees her husband's gun and she picks it up and shoots it 4 or 5 times, and then he was dead. That was a wrap for him. So, guys, this story was like, this movie was so good. It was so good. So yeah, it turns out Sarah wasn't really Sarah and Shannon wasn't really Shannon. They have been doing this for about 25 years. These elderly ladies have been missing for about 25 years. They've been, you know, what they do is steal their social security, they take everything from their bank. And I guess they start off as being their caregivers, but then these elderly people have no they have no family and no one to really watch over them, so they're easily to get taken advantage of. And then Shannon, he would con these middle-aged women out of their money, you know, the same old, like what he did to Grace. So Grace got freed from jail. Grace got freed from jail. Everybody apologized to her. Sarah is still like somewhere, you know, of course, doing the same old scheme. So guys, I already cut into this cake. The camera cut off for some reason. I guess I was out of storage and I thought I was filming myself cut the cake, but I guess I wasn't. So it was good, y'all. This was good. First time having lava cake. I guess it's supposed to be like really hot when you try to cut it. But yeah, you guys, I'm gonna head out. I hope that you enjoyed this story time, even though it was a long story time. And yeah. So if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and also don't forget to subscribe below. Again, I make new videos almost every single day and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye. Gosh, you guys, this food was so good. Oh, and that story time. Yeah, I had fun telling it. I had 2 chicken wings left. I didn't even know this.